Alright then guys, welcome to the video, welcome back to the channel. As you can see, it's pretty cold, it's starting to defrost. See my breath. But what I've actually got for you today is a load of other little clips that I've just filmed based around the Civic and something for the S2000 that wasn't enough for its own video, so I just thought I'd put them all in this one video. A few little bits of info and parts for the EP3 first, and then we've got a cool JDM install of a backyard special seat rail for the S2000. So enjoy this one, enjoy the warmer version of myself. So first off, let's jump in with the EP3 stuff. Alright guys, so changing over the, I guess it's like a plastic cover for the side of the Recaro rails, so I guess this only really affects you if you've got either Premier seats or you're using the rails to do the DC2 seats like I am, or any other seat I suppose. Ever since I got these rails, the clip has been completely snapped on both sides actually, and you can't buy this part from Honda anymore, which has been annoying because these I've left in the car. They kind of clip on and hold on if you don't move anywhere, but as soon as you drive, the vibrations just shake them loose. I didn't think anyone had them new anymore, but shout out to Jordan who did manage to have one, and he decided to sell it to me. So I have a brand new in packaging passenger side plastic cover basically. So I'm going to install this on the car, but I'll show you what I'm talking about if you don't know what I mean. So as you can see, got some snapped clips here, well, all over it actually, to be honest. Probably the worst part is that this one here and this one here are snapped, so it kind of holds in place, but that's about it really. But I have just noticed that this clip is still in here, so I'm gonna have to get that out first. If you do want the part number, there it is. That is obviously the genuine one, so good luck finding these. If you do end up finding these somewhere, let me know, because I still need a driver's side one as well. But anyway, yeah, let's get that clip out and get this installed. Okay, that clip turned out to be a real pain to get out, but that's out now, so let's get this new one in. Interestingly, look at the writing of cover. Both of them are like all over the place, not really straight, but you can see the difference where like everything's obviously snapped on one and fresh on the other. So this is going to look much better. Right, this should be just simple as line up the holes and sort of push it in. So I've never actually seen my car with this mounted perfectly like that before. This is so much nicer. Definitely as you look at, I mean, obviously, as you can see, this is snapped anyway, so it's never going to be perfect. Next up, we've got a couple of bits from Carbon Fibre, some interior bits this time. We've got this cover, which I'll do in a sec, but just thought I'd show you, we've got real carbon fibre on the door handles now. So I've obviously got the hydro dip pieces underneath that, but these just stick on over the top. Unfortunately, I installed these at a show, so I don't have me installing them, but it's literally just double-sided tape. Just tape over your standard ones. Super easy. Also good because it means you don't have to remove these standard ones to get these on, because those are a bit of a mission with a screwdriver in behind. But let's move on to the steering wheel piece. Okay, so I know this thing seems pretty crazy, and to be honest, it's not something I'm comfortable running during like daily driving or whatever. It's probably just a showpiece for me, because this would really hurt getting this in the face if your airbag goes off. But what is amazing about this, because the fitment of this piece is so good, you can just clip it on and off. Like, you don't actually need to tape it in for it to hold. It like has a really strong hold anyway. So you just line it up, try not to set your horn off at the same time. Easy as that. That's it installed. Like, it does look sick. I wouldn't risk driving and getting that to the face. I guess the other thing you could do is you could deactivate the airbag if you wanted to do that and just run this the whole time. But for shows and stuff, this is gonna look really good. And the fact you can just remove it and it fits really nicely is a big win. So what I will do is I'll leave a link to this and the door handle pieces in the description if you wanna pick those up. So huge shout out to Carbon Fibre for giving those to me. They look super cool, and obviously Carbon Fibre is great. I've now got a useful bit of information if you are running the Skunk 2 low profile washer kit that I've got on mine, the black washers for the rocker cover. The rubber washers that go underneath the washer kit itself that actually seal it, I had one of those split and leak oil down the front of the rocker cover. Shout out to Joel at Ignite Automotive. He measured the size of the Skunk 2 ones. We basically just found these on eBay. So if you want to know the, well, I'll leave the link to these down below anyway, but if you want to know the exact size, these are 12.42 times by 1.78. If you hit the link in the description, it may take you to a general page where you have to then choose which one. All of that info will be in the description anyway, but I just thought that is a super useful bit of information if you also want to change these rubber seals on yours as well. So I thought I'd just show you the extent of how broken my previous one. This is the Skunk 2 one, basically in 2 bits. So obviously you can see that this thing would have leaked like crazy, as it's almost split all the way around now. If you're unsure of the seals I'm talking about, it's underneath these washers here. So there's obviously all of them all all along the engine. As you can see, I've still got some remnants of the oil that leaked out. If anyone's got any good recommendations for, I guess, a degreaser or something just to clean up the oil residue, and I suppose just generally clean this, because it's obviously been hit by rain and stuff through the grill and what have you over time. So just something to clean up the rocker cover would be nice to know as well. But anyway, here's the pack of them. Obviously, as you can see, I haven't changed many more because at the moment these aren't leaking. This one in here is leaking. I will get to that at some point, maybe when I eventually change the spark plug cover to a much nicer version of this, because this one's pretty scratched. But yeah, super useful and worth picking some up, because I think they're only like £2 or £3, so definitely worth it to solve this problem. Next up, we have one of the final few things that are not really annoy me about this car, but that just I think need to be different. What I've always found since actually driving this for the first time was I found that the seating position of the driver's seat, and I guess the passenger, I haven't been in the passenger seat much, but the driver's seat just sits a little bit too high. I kind of feel like I'm on top of the car more rather than in the car. So today I'm actually going to sort that issue out with some JDM Spice Backyard Special, which if you haven't heard of them, they're basically this Japanese brand that do Honda parts, but they basically make a seat rail replacement for the OEM seat. I haven't really got a plan to change this seat out at the moment, so I just thought this is the best way to sort of solve the problem of sitting too high, and also it's cool JDM parts. Basically the idea is we're going to take the roof off, as we have the luxury to be able to do that, get the OEM seat out so we can get to the rails and swap it over. Well, that's this side ready to go, so then mirror it on the other side and then we'll take it off. Cool, so this thing should just be ready to lift off now. Look at that. And here is the roof on the stand. This is the OEM Honda stand that you get with the roof. Now I'm going to show you the seating position. So I guess it's actually quite hard for me to show you a seating position. This is where I sit when I drive the car. I do sit quite upright, which I guess probably doesn't help for the height, but as I guess you can see from here, this is how high the seat is at the moment. I think it's about a 2 centimeter drop, which I know just doesn't sound like much, but I guess we're going to find out how much of a difference that's really going to make. So let's just start getting this seat out. I think it is literally just 4 bolts, so let's crack on with that. The 2 back bolts, those are 14mm, and the 2 front ones, which are hidden right now, hang on, move the chair. The 2 front ones, those are a 12. So I'm going to undo those and get the seat out. And just like that, the seat is out. It literally is those 4 bolts. There's no plug for the seat belt or anything. It literally just lifted out, which is amazing. Super simple. Now we've got the seat out, let's have a look at it and have a look at the new rail. First of all, how sick is this box? The Backyard Special tape is so cool. I haven't even opened this thing yet, hence the knife. So gonna get this open and then we can cross compare with the OEM seat. So just having a look, I mean, first of all, how rad is that? Honda Super Specialist Backyard Special. That is seriously cool. Also, very cool, Backyard Special bag. Just looking at the differences really, just work out what goes where, and I think we do have to pop this plastic bit off. There was a plastic handle on here and you need to get that off to be able to get this plastic piece off. What we thought was the best method was we just used a bit of rope attached to the plastic bit and pulled this way, and it does just pop off. It feels so wrong, but it basically slides on there like that, and so we just pulled it away from there like that. We didn't break anything. It is what you're supposed to do, because now, since that piece is now off, it means that this bit can just be sort of lifted up and pushed this way, obviously once you've undone the screw that's in here and the screw that's in here. And once that plastic piece is off, it exposes this area, so we can start undoing these bolts and actually taking this entire rail off. Just flip the seat over to the side where the seatbelt clicker was installed in here. As you can see, it has this bit here that locks it in so it doesn't flip too much either way. Took that bolt out and I bolted it straight on here actually. What's cool is the design is exactly the same. It's got the locator pin hole as well, literally just straight bolt on so far, which is good. Also taken out the bolt here, also taken the nut off of here, which is this one here. So we're going to flip the seat back over now and start taking off everything on the other side. Just undone the 3 bolts that were left on this side, and now it's, as you can see, coming apart. So all that needs to happen is this part goes this way and then this piece comes this way and should lift straight up. And then there we go. The seat is in 2 bits now, as you can see. So I didn't spot these 2 nuts on the bottom, so we got one here and the same on the other side. I've obviously taken this one off already. This should be, once this comes off, this whole OEM seat rail should come off and we can start putting the Backyard Special one on. There we go. Wasn't expecting the seat rail to be in 2 bits. The Backyard Special one isn't like that. It's pretty simple actually. You just started bolting all the OEM bolts back in. The only changes are that we now have this on the pivot point for the seat. This is a 10mm Allen, just in case you need to know that. And on the other side, there are some nuts and some spring washers that need to go on as well. These are the bolts that come out of the OEM piece. So all you are changing over to are these is this is also the nut that we replaced with that Allen key. So that is the 3 things you don't need anymore. So I'm gonna get these on and tighten them up. And there we go, everything is back together. This was a bit of a pain to get back on, to be honest. I've tested the seat, sat in it, and it works as it should. So we've now slid everything back. So it's literally time to get this in the car. I've put the roof up just to give it a little stretch out whilst we had the hardtop off. Let's get this in the car and see if we can get it to fit straight away. Right, I'm going to bolt in all 4 of these bolts and then I'll get back to you. Right then, it's all bolted back down, it's fully installed, so it's time to get the final sit in. I haven't got the seating position quite right just yet. Oh, I'm way too close. This seat rail is so difficult to move backwards and, well, backwards is slightly easy because you can push with your legs, but coming forward is a 2-man job almost. But okay, you can definitely tell. Oh yes, yes. Yeah, I definitely feel like I'm much lower in the car. It's crazy because it's only like 2 centimeters, but I just feel like I'm in it now rather than on it. I bought this secondhand. I didn't actually buy this from Backyard Special, but from the previous owner, he said the secret to make it look like you've got 2 of them is to move the passenger seat 1 click forward and tilt that all the way back, and then the heights are the same. Yes, this is exactly what I was wanting. To be honest, that was a pretty easy install. I think what I'll do, I'll drive around a bit, see how it is actually living with it for a bit, and then I'll get back to you guys on how it is. But so far, this is already how I thought the S2000 should have come, to be honest. So I hadn't actually looked at this before filming that last clip, but as you can clearly see, the height of the seat is very different. This is with it move forward and click back. It's not enough of a difference for me to spend the extra money to get the seat rail for the passenger, because meh. Overall, look how much difference this is. It's really obvious. Makes a massive difference to the seating position. So I couldn't resist having the roof off, it being winter. It was sort of one of the only opportunities I'll have to drive it with the roof off, and obviously I want to see what the seat rail was like. Even just a short drive around my town completely changes how this thing feels. You feel just so much lower in the car and just more part of it. Very happy. If you have an S2000 and you're on the fence about getting one of these rails, I would definitely recommend it. Even if you're not tall, you just feel more connected to the car by sitting that much lower in it, so it's definitely worth it. Should probably order some more stuff from Backyard Special, but you'll have to wait for that in a future video. So there we go, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed this one. Hopefully you found this information useful. Obviously nothing crazy going on in this video. I've had a few more days with the S2000 and the seat rail is definitely a great upgrade. As I've already said a load of times in this video, worth it if you've got one and you're on the fence about it. I would say it's worth it. Hopefully, yeah, the little bits of EP3 information is useful for you guys as well. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content on both cars. Also leave some comments down below on any content you want to see with either or car or both cars in the same video. Would be interesting to know what you guys want to see. Like this one, I'll see you in the next one.